Hello, let's do the Netflix puzzled Starstruck for Wednesday, April 1st. We'll do the easy then the hard. The easy is called Clown. All right. So, the way this puzzle works is in each row, each column, and each colored region, we need to place exactly one star. Also, stars can't touch each other, even diagonally. So, this would not be allowed because they're touching. Now, since every colored region needs a star, and this orange region only has one place for a star, we have to put a star there. All right. Is there any other gimmies here? I'm not seeing any like super gimmies. There's kind of the next step if there's nothing just like obviously this has to be true. Then look for two things: formations and lining up. I see both. I'm going to do lining up first. If you see lining up, that's usually better to do first over formations, but you never know. Kind of have to interleave them often. But what do I mean by lining up? So let's focus on the top two rows of this puzzle. I'm going to draw a line there so you can help focus you. Above this line, there are exactly two stars. Why do I know that? Think about it for a second if you're not sure. Well, there's two stars because there's a star in the first row and there's a star in the second row. Exactly one each, so there are two stars. Well, I'm going to argue that we know basically where the two stars are. We know the two regions that contain those stars because brown is fully above our line and green is fully above our line. And since they're fully above the line, they have a star each. That accounts for both of our stars. And that means that the rest of the regions above this line cannot have a star, or it would be a third star. So these two are out and these two are out because they're not brown and they're not green. Now that does mean that indigo here has only one place left for a star, and that leaves only one place left in blue. That leaves one place left in brown, one place left in green, then yellow, and then red. And we're done. So I think that that's kind of a new definition of plonker because they aren't doing true plonkers anymore. That's kind of the simplest lineup you can have, a two row or two column lineup, and that's right at the start without needing any deductions. And so you just need the gimme, the lineup, and then the rest are gimmies. They're just plonked. All right, let's go into the hard, which unfortunately they made harder with the update. I have reported that, and I hope they fix it. All right, we'll see. So the hard is called Wednesday. Okay, so the very first thing I'm seeing is the top row, but we'll place a star in red because it can't place it anywhere else, meaning the rest of red is out. Right, now the next row down, always good to check the next row down when you do that, is down to these two only. This is our standard two-cell formation. And our standard two-cell formation removes the two from the top and the two from the bottom, above and below it, because they touch the entirety of the region. And now the next row down, always good to check the next row down, is only one place for a star, so we place it. And that places the star in the row above it. Okay, that's a good start. Are there any other obvious deductions here? Yellow has been reduced to 3 places. This sees all of them. And now orange, this sees all of orange. Indigo's down to this L shape. Green is this L shape, so this touches all of green. I think that's it for formations. Oh, this row's down to these two, so these two are out. And now this row's down to these two, so these two are out. That's quite nice. I keep wanting to make green and brown line up, but brown could be over here. What's interesting is either green and brown line up vertically or they line up horizontally. If they line up vertically, these two are out, which puts one of these two in. I don't know if that goes any farther. If they line up horizontally, that does a lot. That removes all of these, which then removes that, and that places that one. So we would be placing this one and this one, which does not work. Is there a cleaner way to see this? So let me demonstrate what I'm seeing first, because sometimes the initial thing I see is much more complex than what we actually need to do. But what I'm looking at is, what if brown and green, what if brown and green line up like this? Like if brown weren't here, then what happens? And I'm seeing that it does a lot, right? I'm seeing it eliminates from all of these, which means that indigo has only this left, which then places in orange. And now what I noticed is that that eliminates the two places left in yellow, which is no good. So that's kind of my initial observation. And often I'm just happy with that and I'll do it. But because I record and I'm a video and I'm a walkthrough, I'd like to see if there's kind of a cleaner way to see that. And often working backwards from the region that broke can be a good way to do that. So, oh, there's a much simpler way to do that actually. And I think it might be related in a kind of obtuse way. But this row here can only place in brown, and that eliminates these two, which is what the elimination I just did. I think what I did is I basically looked at all of the rows besides this one. I looked at this. I looked at this row and these rows, which are the other rows, and I saw that we can't place 5 stars in them. Is basically what I said. So that's why that was so roundabout. So these are out because this row needs to place in brown. That's much simpler. And now we do know that brown and green line up. So that takes out from those two. Okay. That's much simpler. Simpler doesn't mean more fun though. Anyway, this column needs a star. It's going to get placed there. I wonder how long that's been there. Orange is down. Yeah, this row needs to place an orange. Now red and indigo and green and brown. Okay, got it. That was a lot simpler than I made it, but that doesn't mean it was more. It would have been more fun to solve it in the simplest way. That's kind of my point. Just have fun with these puzzles, right? That's why we play them. How'd you do?